Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritcham Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayet Nashta Prayeshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sound check, everything is audible? You able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji. All good, Prabhuji.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28. Kapila's instructions on the execution of devotional service. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Yogasya Lakshana Vakshe Sabijasya Rupamaje Mano Yenaiva Vidina Prasannam Yati Sat Patam. The personality of Godhead said, My dear mother, O daughter of the king, now I shall explain to you the system of yoga, with the object of which is to concentrate the mind. By practicing this system, one can become joyful and progressively advance towards the path of absolute truth. Sadharma charanasakta vidar vidharmacha nivartanam daival labdhena santosha atmavich charanachanam charanachanam. So let me repeat again, sorry. One second. स्वधर्माचरणं शक्ता विदक्षमाच निवर्तनं दैवाल लब्धेन संतोष आत्मवच्चरणार्चनम्. One should execute his prescribed duties to the best of his ability and avoid performing duties not allotted to him. One should be satisfied with as much gain as he achieves by the grace of the Lord, and one should worship the lotus feet of a spiritual master. ग्राम्यधर्मनिवृत्तिश्च मोक्षधर्मरतिस्तथा मितमेध्यादनं शश्वत् विविक्तक्षेमसेवनम्. One should cease performing conventional religious practices and should be attracted to those which lead to salvation. One should eat very frugally, frugally and should always remain secluded so that he can achieve the highest perfection of life. अहिंसा सत्यम अस्तेयं यावद् अर्थ परिग्रहः ब्रह्मचर्यं तपः शौचं स्वाध्यायः पुरुषार्चनम्. One should practice non-violence and truthfulness, should avoid thieving and be satisfied with possessing as much as he needs for his maintenance. He should abstain from sex life, perform austerity, be clean, study the Vedas, and worship the supreme form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maunam sadasana jayah स्थैर्यं prana jayah shanaihi pratyaharaschendriyanam vishayan manasa hridi. One must observe silence, acquire steadiness by practicing different yogic postures, control the breathing of the vital air, withdraw the senses from the sense objects, and thus concentrate the mind on the heart. स्वदिष्ण्यानाम् एकदेशे मनसा प्राणधारणं वैकुण्ठलीलाभिध्यानं समादानं तथात्मनः. Fixing the vital air and the mind in one of the six circles of vital air circulation within the body, thus concentrating one's mind on the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called samadhi or samadhana of the mind. एतैरन्यैश्च पतिभिर् mano dushtam asatpatam buddhya yunjita sangnakair jita prano hi atandritaha. By this process or any other true process, one must control the contaminated, unbridled mind, which is always attracted by material enjoyment, and thus fix himself in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya vichitasana asanam tasmin swasti samasina rijokayah samabhyaset. After controlling one's mind and sitting postures, one should spread a seat in a secluded and sanctified place. Sit there in an easy posture, keeping the body erect, and practice breath control. Pranasya sodhyen margam pura kumbhaka rechakaihi pratikulena vachittam yata stiram achanchalam. The yogi should clear the passage of vital air by breathing in the following manner. First, he should inhale very deeply, then hold the breath in and finally exhale. Or, reversing the process, the yogi can first exhale, then hold the breath outside and finally inhale. This is done so that the mind may become steady and free from external disturbances. मनोचिरात् स्याद् विरजं जित स्वास्यस्य योगिनः वायुः अग्निर्भ्यां यथा लोहं मातं त्यजति vaimalam. The yogis who practice such breathing exercises are very soon freed from all mental disturbances, just as gold, when put into fire and fanned with air, becomes free from all impurities. प्राणायामैर्दहे दोषान् धारणाभिश्च किल्बिषान् प्रत्याहारेण संसर्गान् ध्यानेनानीश्वरान् गुणान्. By practicing the process of pranayama, one can eradicate the contamination of his psychological condition, and by concentrating the mind, one can become free from all sinful activities. By restraining the senses, one can free himself from material association, and by meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become free from the three modes of material attachment. यदा मनस्वं विरजं योगेन सुषमाहितं काष्ठां भगवतो ध्यायेत् स्वनासाग्रावलोकनः. When the mind is perfectly purified by this practice of yoga, one should concentrate on the tip of the nose with half closed eyes and see the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prasanna Vadanam Bojam Padma Garbharu sorry, Padma Garbhanu, uh, sorry, Prasanna Vadanam Bojam Padma Garbha Runekshanam Nilotpala Dalashyamam Shanka Chakra Gadadharam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has a cheerful lotus like countenance with ruddy eyes like the interior of a lotus and a swarthy body like the petals of a blue lotus. He bears a conch discus and mace in three of his hands. Lasat Pankaja Kinjalka Pita Kauseya Vasanam Vasasam Srivatsa Vakshasam Brajat Kaustubha Mukta Kandaram. His lions are covered by a shining cloth, yellowish like the filaments of a lotus. On his breast he bears the mark of Srivatsa, a curl of white hair. The brilliant Kaustuba gem is suspended from his neck. Matta Dvirefa Kalaya Paritam Vanamalaya Parardhya Haravalaya Kiritangada Nupuram. His he also wears around his neck a garland of attractive sylvan flowers, and a swarm of bees, intoxicated by its delicious fragrance, hums about the garland. He is further superbly adorned with a pearl necklace, a crown, and pairs of armlets, bracelets, and anklets. Kanchi Gunolasat क्रोच्रोणिं हृदयाम्भोज विस्तरं दर्शनीयतमं शान्तं मनोनयनवर्धनम्. His lions and hips encircled by a girdle, he stands on the lotus of his devotee's heart. He is most charming to look at, and his serene aspect gladdens the eyes and souls of the devotees who behold him. अपीच दर्शनं शश्वत् सर्वलोक नमस्कृतं शन्तं वयसि कैशोरे भृत्यानुग्रह कातरम्. The Lord is eternally very beautiful and he is worshipable by all the inhabitants of every planet. He is ever youthful and always eager to bestow his blessing upon his devotees. कीर्तन्य तीर्थ यशसं पुण्यश्लोक यशस्करं ध्यायेद्देवं समाग्रांगं यावन् न चवते मनः. The glory of the Lord is always worth singing, for his glories enhance the glories of his devotees. One should therefore meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead and upon his devotees. One should meditate on the eternal form of the Lord until the mind becomes fixed. Sthitam vrajantam asinam shayanam va guhashayam prekshaniye hitam dhyachyat chuddha bhavena chetasa. Thus, always merged in devotional service, the yogi visualizes the Lord standing, moving, lying down, or sitting within him. For the pastimes of the Supreme Lord are always beautiful and attractive. तस्मिन् लब्ध पदं चित्तं सर्ववय संस्थितं विलक्षैकत्र संयुज्याद् अंगे भगवतो मुनिः. In fixing his mind on the eternal form of the Lord, the yogi should not take a collective view of all his limbs, but should fix the mind on each individual limb of the Lord. सञ्चिन्तयेद् भगवतश्चरणारविन्दं वज्रान्कुशध्वज सरोरुह लाञ्छनाद्यम् उत्तङ्गरक्तविलसन्नख चक्रवाल ज्योत्स्नाभिराहत महत् दृढयान्धकारम्. The devotee should first concentrate his mind on the Lord's lotus feet, which are adorned with the marks of a thunderbolt, a god, a banner, and a lotus. The splendor of their beautiful ruby nails resembles the orb of the moon and dispels the thick gloom of one's heart. यच्चौष निहृष्ट सरित् प्रवोरदकेन तीर्थेन मूर्ध्नि अधिक्रेण शिव शिव भूत् ध्यातुर्मनः शैल निःसृष्ट वज्रं ध्याये चिरं भगवतश्चरणारविन्दम्. The blessed Lord Shiva becomes all the more blessed by bearing on his head the holy water of the Ganges, which has its source in the water that washed the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord's feet act like thunderbolt hurled to shatter the mountain of sin stored in the mind of the meditating devotee. One should therefore meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time. जानुद्वयं जलज लोचनाय जनन्या लक्ष्म्याखिलस्य सुरवन्दिताय वन्दितया विधातुः पूर्वोर्निधाय करपल्लवरोषिसायत् संलालितं हृदि विभोरभवस्य कुर्यात् कुर्यात्. The yogi should fix in his heart the activities of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, who is worshipped by all demigods and is the mother of the Supreme Person, Brahman. She can always be found massaging the legs and thighs of the Transcendental Lord, very carefully serving him in this way. ऊरु सुपर्णभुजयोरधि शोभमाना ओजो निधि अतशिखा कुसुमावभासौ व्यालम्बिपीत वरवालस वाससि वर्तमाना काञ्ची कलाप परिरम्भि नितम्बबिम्बम्. Next, the yogi should fix his mind in meditation on the personality of Godhead's thighs, the storehouse of all energy. The Lord's thighs are whitish blue, like the luster of the lin, what do you call it? Linseed flower, and appear most gracefully when the Lord is carried on the shoulders of Garuda. Also, the yogi should contemplate his rounded hips, which are encircled by a girdle that rests on the exquisite yellow silk cloth that extends down to his ankles. नाभिहृदं भुवनकोशगुहोदरस्तं यत् यत्रात्मयोनि दिशनाखिललोकपद्मं व्यूढं हरिन्मणिः वृषस्तनयोरमुष्य ध्यायेद् द्वयं ध्यायेद्वयं विषधार मुखाय गौरम्. The yogi should then meditate on his moon-like navel in the center of his abdomen. From his navel, which is the foundation of the entire universe, sprang the lotus stem containing all the different planetary systems. The lotus is the residence of of Brahma, the first created being. In the same way, the yogi should concentrate his mind on the Lord's nipples, which resemble a pair of most exquisite emeralds and which appear whitish because of the rays of the milk white pearl necklace adorning his chest. वक्षोधिवासं वृषभस्य महाविभूतेः पुंसां मनोनयन निर्वृतिम् आददानं कण्ठं च कौस्तुभमणेरब्धिभूषणार्थं कुर्यान् मनसि अखिललोकनमस्कृतस्य. The yogi should then meditate on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the abode of Goddess Mahalakshmi. The Lord's chest is the source of all transcendental pleasure for the mind and full satisfaction for the eyes. The yogi should then imprint on his mind the neck of the Personality of Godhead, which is adored by the entire universe. The neck of the Lord serves to enhance the beauty of the Kaustubha gem which hangs on his chest. बाहुंश्च मन्दरगिरेः परिवर्तनेन निर्निक्तबाहुवलयान् अधिलोकपालान् सञ्चिन्तयेद्दशसतारम् असह्यतेजः शङ्खं च तत्कर राजहंसम्. The yogi should further meditate upon the Lord's four arms, which are the source of all powers of the demigods who control the various functions of material nature. Then the yogi should concentrate on the polished ornaments which were burnished by Mount Mandara as it revolved. He should also duly contemplate the Lord's discus, the Sudarshana Chakra, which contains 1,000 spokes and a dazzling luster, as well as the conch, which looks like a swan in his lotus like palm. कौमोदकीं भगवतो दयितां स्मरेत दिग्धाम् आरतिबठ शोणितकर्दमेन मालां मधुव्रत वरुत गिरोपघुष्टास्तं चैतस्य चैत्यस्य तत्त्वम् अमलं मणिमस्य कंठे. The yogi should meditate upon his club, which is named Kaumodaki and is very dear to him. This club smashes the demons, who are always inimical soldiers, and is smeared with their blood. One should also concentrate on the nice garland on the neck of the Lord, which is always surrounded by bumblebees with their nice buzzing sound. And one should meditate upon the pearl necklace on Lord's neck, which is considered to represent the pure living entities who are always engaged in his service. प्रत्यानुकम्पित धियेह गृहीतमूर्तेः सञ्चिन्तयेद्भगवतो वदनारविन्दं यत् विस्फुरन्मकरकुण्डलवल्गितेन विद्योति तामलकपोलम् उदारनासम्. The yogi should then meditate on the lotus like countenance of the Lord, who presents his different forms in this world out of compassion for the anxious devotees. His nose is prominent and his crystal clear cheeks are illuminated by the oscillation of his glittering alligator shaped earrings. Yet Sriniketa alibihi परिसेव्यमानं भूत्या स्वया कुटिल कुन्तल वृन्दजुष्टं मीन द्वयाश्रयम् अखि अधीक्षिपद् अब्जनेत्रं ध्यायेन् मनोमयं atandrita ullasad bhru. The yogi then meditates upon the beautiful face of the Lord, which is adorned with curly hair and decorated by lotus-like eyes and dancing eyebrows. A lotus surrounded by swarming bees and a pair of swimming fish would be put to shame by its elegance. तस्यावलोकम् अधिकं कृपयाति घोरां तापत्रयोपशमाय निश् निःसृतस् निःसृष्टम् अक्ष्णोः स्निग्धा स्मितानुगुणित विपुलप्रसादं ध्यायेत् चिरं विपुलभावनाय गुहायम्. The yogi should contemplate with full devotion the compassionate glances frequently cast by the Lord's eyes, for they soothe the most fearful threefold agonies of his devotees. His glances, accompanied by loving smiles, are full of abundant grace. हासं हरेरवनताखिललोकतीव्र शोकाश्रुसागरविशोषणम् अत्युदारम् सम्मोहनाय रक्षितं निजमाय यास्य भ्रूमण्डलं मुनिकृते मकरध्वजस्य. A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which, for all those who bow to him, dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency, in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages. ध्यायान्नयं प्रहसितं बहुलाधरोष्टा भासारुणादिय भासारुणादित तनुद्विजकुण्डपङ्क्ति ध्यायेत् स्वदेह कुहरे वसितस्य विष्णोर्भक्त्यार्थ यार्पितमना न पृथक् दिदृक्ष्येत्. With devotion steeped in love and affection, the yogi should meditate within the core of his heart upon the laughter of Lord Vishnu. The laughter of Vishnu is so captivating that it can be easily meditated upon. When the Supreme Lord is laughing, one can see his small teeth, which resemble jasmine buds, rendered rosy by the splendor of his lips. Once devoting his mind to this, the yogi should no longer desire to see anything else. एवं हरो भगवति प्रतिलब्ध भावो भक्त्या हृदय उत्पुलक प्रमोदात् औत्कण्ठ्य बाष्पकलया मुहुरर्ध्यमानस् तच्चापि चित्त बडिशं वियुङ्क्ते. By following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. In the course of his progress in devotional service, the hairs on his head in his body stand erect through excessive joy, and he is constantly bathed in a stream of tears occasioned by intense love. Gradually, even the mind, which he used as a means to attract the Lord, as one attracts a fish to a hook, withdraws from material activity. मुक्ताश्रयं यर्हि निर्विषयं विरक्तं निर्वण निर्वाणं ऋच्छति मनः सहसा यतार्चितैः. Wait a second. मुक्ताश्रयं यर्हि निर्विषयं विरक्तं निर्वाणमृच्छति मनः सहसा यथार्चिः. आत्मानम् अत्र पुरुषो व्यवधानम् एकम् अन्वीक्षते प्रतिनिवृत्तगुणप्रवाहः. When the mind is thus completely freed from all material contamination and detached from material objectives, it is just like the flame of a lamp. At that time, the mind is actually dovetailed with that of Supreme Lord and is experienced as one with Him because it is freed from the interactive flow of material qualities. So, सोऽप्येतया चरमया मनसो निवृत्या तस्मिन् महिम्नि अवसितः सुखदुःखबाह्ये हेतुत्वम् अपि असति कर्तरि दुःखयोर्यत् स्वात्मं विधत्त उपलब्ध paramatma paratmakashtah. Thus, situated in the highest transcendental stage, the mind ceases from all material reaction and becomes situated in its own glory, transcendental to all material conceptions of happiness and distress. At that time, the yogi realizes the truth of his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He discovers that pleasure and pain, as well as that interaction which he attributed to his own self, are actually due to false ego, which is a product of ignorance. Teham chatam na charamah stitam uthitam va siddho vipasyati yatodhyagamat swarupam daivat upetam atha daiva वसाद् अपेतं वासो यथा परिकृतं मदिरा मदान्धः. Because he has achieved his real identity, the perfectly realized soul has no conception of how the material body is moving or acting, just as an intoxicated person cannot understand whether or not he has clothing on his body. Dehopi daiva vashagah khalu karma yavat स्वारम्भकं प्रतिसमीक्षत एव सासुः तं स प्रपन्नम् अभिरूढसमाधियोगः स्वाप्नं पुनर्न भजते प्रतिबुद्धवत्सुः. The body of such a liberated yogi, along with the senses, is taken charge of by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it functions until its destined activities are finished. The liberated devotee, being awake to his constitutional position and thus situated in samadhi, the highest perfectional stage of yoga, does not accept the byproducts of the material body as his own. Thus, he considers his bodily activities to be like the activities of a body in a dream. Yata putra cha vittascha प्रथम मर्त्या प्रतीयते अपि आत्मा अपि आत्मेनाभिमतात् देहादे पुरुषः तथा. Because of great affection for family and wealth, one accepts a son and some money as his own, and due to affection for the material body, one thinks that it is his. But actually, as one can understand that his family and wealth are different from him, the liberated soul can understand that he and his body are not the same. यथो मुखाद् विस्फुलिङ्गात् धूमाद् वापि स्वसम्भवात् अपि आत्मा वेनाभिमतात् यथा अग्नि पृथक् उल्मकात्. The blazing fire is different from the flames, from the sparks, and from the smoke, although all are intimately connected because they are born from the same blazing wood. भूतेन्द्रियान्तःकरणात् प्रधानाज् जीवसंजितात् आत्मा तथा पृथक् दृष्टा Bhagavan Brahma Samjitah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Parabrahma, is the seer. He is different from the Jiva, soul, or individual living entity who is combined with the senses, the five elements, and consciousness. सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षेतानन्यभावेन भूतेष्व इव तद आत्मताम्. A yogi should see the same soul in all manifestations, for all that exists is a manifestation of different energies of the Supreme. In this way, the devotee should see all living entities without distinction. That is realization of the Supreme Soul. स्वयोनिषु यथा ज्योतिरेकं नाना प्रतीयते योनीनां गुणवैषम्यात् तथात्मा प्रकृतौ स्थितः. As fire is exhibited in different forms of wood, so under different conditions of the modes of material nature, the pure spirit soul manifests itself in different bodies. तस्मादिमां स्वां प्रकृतिं दैवीं सदसत् आत्मिकां दुर्विभाव्यां पराभाव्य swarupena vatisthate. Thus, the yogi can be in the self-realized position after conquering the insurmountable spell of Maya, who presents herself as both the cause and effect of this material manifestation and is therefore very difficult to understand. Hare Krishna. Thus ends this wonderful chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 28, Kapila's instructions on the execution of devotional service. Hare Krishna. So I wouldn't be able to cover much of purports in this session. I planned to stop at maybe 2023 or but it was quite tempting to know the features of the Supreme Lord that's explained when the Lord manifests in the heart of the yogi, how one meditates in the form of the Lord, not just as a wholesome. Yeah, usually it is said wholesome is someone who is like a Mayavadi who thinks the Lord is yeah, one. No, there is every detail of the Lord is beautiful. That's why it's described how the Lord's lotus feet is, how the Lord's thighs are, how the Lord abdomen is, how his heart is, what weapons he carries, and everything is so beautiful. And one can attain samadhi just by meditating on the form of the Lord, either manifesting in the form of Acha Murti, yeah, or also if a yogi is capable and able to control his breath, if either he follows the Raja Yoga, yeah, or even Laya Yoga. These are the yogas, yeah, that can also come under the Ashtanga Yoga. Through that, a yogi becomes perfect, so that he forgets himself and attains samadhi. And through this process, he is able to see the Paramatma in the localized form of the Lord in the heart. And this is what we read. So I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I may cover the purports, or I was also thinking maybe take some time, read through the purports. Meanwhile, there is no harm if I again bring this and we discuss tomorrow as well. Otherwise, we can even move further. Thank you so much for your time. So, are other questions as we didn't discuss much, but any feelings or that you want to share?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for reciting the the path to attain uh, the Dhyana Yoga. So, Prabhuji, as you already read that Dhyana Yoga, what has been mentioned here in this chapter by Kapila Muni, is it? I mean, it's prescribed for the Sati Yoga, right? Like we know all this practice. I mean, it is very hard to achieve all this practice, like
Yeah.
breathing practice, posture practice, and everything, and attaining salvation with this method.
Hmm.
And
So your
so,
question is it a practical process
yeah.
in
So,
today's
is this
day and
practical
time?
process is really viable for today's date, or as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned, is like Nam Sankirtan is enough with us?
Yeah, in Nama Sankirtan also we need some objects to meditate, no? Huh? In Nama Sankirtan, yeah, we are chanting for what? To have darshan of the Lord. So whether we take that way or this way, yeah, people might be quite tempted because they think, oh, it's very esoteric and like, okay, in fact, that was the times when yogis used to do, and I can also do because, yeah, but there is also subtle, sublime, easy way by just taking part. Open your eyes wide. You don't have to close. You don't have to close your eyes halfway through and that to focus on the center of your eyebrow, and that too you have to find a very, 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 mm, mm, flat surface. Yeah, there are so many conditions, requirements. Yeah, if one gets that, then the next thing is you need to also have your time for yourself. Yeah, and where are you getting that time? Yeah, that on digitalization, the world is going in full speed that it wants to provide provide internet everywhere, including Himalayas, even the peaks of Himalayas. I don't know if you know about it. Recently, I mean, even our project, our company is also doing some projects where we are having direct communication, even if you are in most remote area where there is no tower. Hey, come on, don't worry, we have satellite communication through which you can get it.
Thanks to Elon Musk, SpaceX.
I don't know what he did. I don't think he did anything here. No, he didn't do anything. It is mainly, I think, the existing satellite. What do you call G? Forgot anyway. They are already satellites which are already doing. Even that's the reason why we have internet also in the flights, right? In flight internet. Anyway, so coming back to your question, so is it practical? Yeah, leave it to people who are very austere. If you want to really struggle, and yeah, that's why there is this nice saying, na? Adi Shankaracharya says, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam Mudamathe. The Mudamati of those times were grammar. Who is a perfect grammar pronunciant? Who can pronounce grammar perfectly? Maybe this time those Mudamati are people who think that science advancement is the key for attaining Lord, or at least proving there is no Lord. So there are so many risk factors. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace is so nice that he has inaugurated Sankirtan movement. We don't have to know anything. We just have to have faith. If we have just faith in the Lord words, then we are the best. We can attain success. If we don't have faith in the words of the Lord, we are the most unfortunate people in Kali Yuga. Yeah. So it just comes to that level. Yeah. For your question,
Yes, Prabhuji.
you can do whatever. Yeah. If you want to do pranayama, do it. Ultimately, we here clearly know now what is the purpose of that. To just meditate on the Lord. Do you want to take the easy route or the most, austerious and tough route? Prabhupada says for us the austerities already are enough, right? What is that? No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication.
Yeah.
Chanting 16 rounds. Oh my God, 16 rounds. What austerities do we need? More. I will not invite any austerities. Already enough. Just if we follow the path. Susukam kartum abhyayam. We, we, sh- we should look for those things which we can perform joyfully. Yeah, I'm very happy if there is a Sankirtan going. Yeah, just take part in it. That's it. You don't have to understand science. Just Sankirtan is enough. That will take us to the shore.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what about others? I think I have internet. Am I audible? Yeah, I think.
Yes, Prabhuji. Audible.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It was really nice to read along the qualities and the visual, how Krishna looks like, and meditate on it. And I was glad that you didn't stop today at verse 22, but continued, because I was curious how the rest of his limbs and the rest of the parts of him look like. So thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Oh, thank you. At least my decision pleased someone. Okay. Good. Then I wish you a very nice evening. Let's catch up tomorrow. Until then, have a nice time. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद